They're all getting angry at Eamon because he's got the Kiancorla robe on.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the last question time of the duel. Gonna quickly listen to the anthem, but I'll get back to you after it. Right, hello and welcome to the final question session of the duel, as I mentioned earlier. Well, the final question session of the 30th Oireachtas. So, I mean, this is quite momentous. This is obviously, like I said, the final duel question session. Today we will be starting with Eamon as the presiding officer, as acting Secretary General, to first begin the Kiancorla elections. We have two candidates, surprisingly, and even more surprisingly, both from the government. So it will just depend on who the government has rallied support behind of, and the opposition as well. A single vote could change the complete course of who becomes the Kiancorla of the final two sessions. Now, the two contenders are in the first corner. We have Wilberforce, who notably is currently the Lash Kiancorla. So I think a lot of people would see him as the obvious choice. However, there is also Michael S. Collins. Now, whilst I do not know him personally, he is a member of the duel and has been nominated by both Urshin and J_Murta. So again, this isn't I think I'd say that's a less known contender, but he is also a member who might have enough support from Labour to pull it off. We're now waiting. Oh no, continue.
Just back to the Fine Gael discrepancy. Erin, how do you say it?
I personally I would say Fine Gael.
But I heard Simon Harris, I'm pretty sure, say Fine Gael once, so I just said, okay, let's do what Simon says, I guess.
I think it would be a dialect difference.
That's what I said.
He's from Wicklow, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw. It was just like I was reading up on it because I kept feeling like I had pronounced it wrong, but no, I think it's just there's no perfectly right.
Yeah, he's from Wicklow, so that would be Leinster, and I'm from Munster. I would personally say Fine Gael, and everyone I've ever heard say the name around me would go Fine Gael as well. So it's probably a dialectal kind of thing.
Right, I see. But we are currently seeing the new one of the new potential candidates for CC, Wilberforce, who I will say again, he has the credibility to win this election. But again, I think it's going to be very close because the other candidate has support from the second largest party in the duel, and the opposition hasn't tended to really support Wilberforce as Kiancorla, because I think a lot of people have cited him as either too aggressive or just take the mick out of him because he just gets so aggressive during the sessions. So again, I'm not sure if he's seen as a serious option. He does kind of try and assert dominance over the chamber, but I think a lot of people may also cite that it just makes him look a bit stupid in the process. However, again, these are you can develop your own opinions on it. Personally, I would see Wilberforce as quite a good option for Ken Caller, but I would say he does get stuck up on quite a few things when items are raised that he doesn't like. But sometimes for good reason, but again, more debatable to yourself. We now have like I said, this nomination was nominated by Noah and seconded by the Taoiseach Oscar O'Sullivan. But then we also had Oisin and Jay Murtagh, who moved for someone I've never heard of, become the other candidate for Cian Corla, Michael S. Collins, as said earlier. We now have the Taoiseach to move the motion to move the nomination.
It's quite interesting that two nominees come from the government benches. Normally, I would assume that the government would support the same candidate.
I do think it's just a ploy. It's just like whoever gets voted on the most is like.
But also, yeah, obviously that's going to decide who will be the.
Well, no, I mean, like, I think both parties have decided to just put them both up there because they couldn't decide who they'd want to, so they're just taking it to the Dáil.
And this raises the bigger question: how can the government, who can't decide on a Cian Corla, I know it's the last week of their government, but how can they not be expected to govern when they can't decide on a person to run the chamber in which they would be expected to govern from?
I mean, I can't say anything personally because I haven't even known that either the people were going to run. I know Wilberforce had said it, but like I didn't know that from group chats or anything. So, I mean, again, I'm a biased person, social democrat, whatever. But personally, from the government's perspective, I would have just said it's easier instead of trying to getting all this discourse between the government in the final term. Just let them both run, see who wins. Obviously, one is put at a disadvantage because the other is the bigger party, but you know it's also about getting the numbers there. So I think it could be close. Something that this lesser known deputy has cited that he was willing to restore debate in the Dáil to its original values. Again, this isn't a person that I'd say is very well known in Ireland. I don't know when he joined. He joined the Oireachtas on the 20th of April, so he must have been here for an amount of time. Oh, Mr. Sunday's here. I apologise, I didn't see you there. You need to message me or something. There's now... Oh, there's quite a few people raising to debate. Notably Taoiseach and the Taoiseach have... Oh, I think the Secretary General is denying debate.
I think it was quite funny to see how quickly Eamon put on those robes.
Yeah, he did take them off before the session started. I'm not sure if he was actually going to try and sneak in with them on.
Oh, he was.
I mean, I have to say he probably tried. But I don't... there's an issue with the standing orders because apparently according to the standing orders, as soon as nominations...
Hi guys.
Hello. As soon as nominations have been read, as soon as nominees have given their speeches, they have to move. The clerks have to put the question, so they're not allowing debate on it. But I want to quickly ask Mr. Sunday. A lot of people were wondering, with your speech on the joint session, whether you were going to, at the end of it, say, "This is why I'm running for president," or whatever. So, can you tell us anything about that?
Well, no, I was never going to say that. Even if it didn't tag, I wasn't saying that. And then afterwards, I got a very angry message from group staff saying
Why?
what I said was awful and it was hot-headed and unpresidential. So there's no movement there.
I think they're trying to put the idea of president in your head. Maybe they want you.
Well,
No,
they were
said
saying the opposite of that.
unpresidential.
Well, no, because they did say that it's unpresidential. So
Yeah. Well, water under the bridge now.
well, I think you've locked yourself out of getting that then. But there's been an issue of the leader of the opposition. I'm going to quickly note. I think if he gets another strike, he's out. And this won't be the only time the leader of the opposition, Brian O'Kearney, has been ejected, has been removed from the duel for the rest of the session, for the rest of the term. Previously under the Social Democrats, when he led that, he also got three strikes there, and subsequently resigned as leader of the party. Now questioning the appointment of Eamon McGrath as a clerk. This is a very common move by Brian O'Kearney. He likes questioning appointments. He even questioned the appointment of the Garda Commissioner when he was still in power.
Well, didn't everyone?
Yeah, but I think he was trying to actually sue someone over it. Nothing happened, obviously, but
Then he went to prison.
yeah, then he went to prison.
Point of order from the government bench from Noah. What's his surname? Noah O'Sullivan, I believe.
Yeah, it changed to an O'Sullivan. Again, potentially a second term for an O'Sullivan. I don't quote me on that again. I'm biased, but I don't know. I think this election will be quite close. I mean, with the leadership,
He has risen and said kick him out, and has been instructed quickly by Taoiseach and other members of the bench to sit down.
well, to quickly note, the voting for the Social Democrats has opened, so we will be seeing the leader, I believe, tomorrow. I'm not
Who
sure.
did you vote for?
I voted for Epic Noah, but I think Australia also has some good plans for the Social Democrats. We'll just have to see who wins. Either way, I'm in either corner.
So readily.
Dan wants to keep his seat so much he's had to appeal to both sides.
Dan, you can keep that a secret.
Was that an
You don't have-
RTE opinion,
No,
Daniel?
I wanted. I don't think
Daniel.
anyone in this stream can actually vote for.
You're going to Brazil!
As far as I'm seeing right now, I think only Australia and Epic Noah can actually vote in the Social Democrats election. So, I think they're both valid candidates.
And Jackie R. Westbrook.
Oh wait,
Oh,
Sunday.
no.
We've been having this debate on RCE. Could you quickly pronounce Fine Gael or Fine Gael, however you wanna?
Fine Gael.
Fine Gael.
Fine Gael. Thank you. It's Fine Gael.
Okay, so I'm right in saying Fine Gael. A vote all has been called. I didn't actually get a look at the votes there.
It wasn't vote all, it was just voice vote. Well, it has been called now, but the votes from the government bench were all called.
They're now moving to the chambers.
Is this a vote for the CC or
Yeah, Cian Corley.
Yeah, for the can corner.
okay?
I've been told that
On whose?
I keep getting told that I shouldn't be. I've been told previously to not go into the room, so again, I'm going to stick with that. If anyone wants me to, feel free to mention it. File a complaint against RTE.
I want you to.
Yeah, but then
Well, we've
Jeremy
got
will get
people
mad at me.
fluctuating. We've got a few people sitting and abstain. We've got the Green Party TDs sat and abstain. We've got a
Abstain
mean-
or AFK?
If we just take a look, no, they have gone into the chamber, the abstain chamber.
no, yeah. Well, they've not gone into a chamber, but they've walked behind the.
Well, yeah, so
Yeah.
they've made the conscious effort to abstain. We only have one abstination that was probably made from an AFK, and that's from the government benches. But these abstains could be quite a lot in such an election, because 9 seats and 7 seats, it could be close. I don't actually know the... So what's it called? The attendance of the Social Democrats and the Labour Party. So we could actually see a Labour Party if they've been whipped for this. But I would assume that it's a free vote. As a Shanador, I don't know anything about this.
An anonymous audience member just DM'd me saying I had a genius assessment as well. So
I do have to say, I did
I
quite
wonder.
like your speech.
No, I don't think it was about the speech.
Oh, never mind, I'm an idiot. Still, I liked your speech. Just taking a look at the spreadsheet here, we have a few. I think that the Social Democrats are in a much more overwhelming number. A few Labour TDs haven't showed up.
I believe Oscar said 13 TDs were on the government bench.
1, 2,
And
3.
Brian O'Kearney has put on the Cian Corla robes whilst walking out.
Four TDs aren't in attendance today from the government side. So if I just
And the
quickly,
result?
Well, the government's split.
11
Labour wants
to 12.
one.
oh,
So
so
the-
Thought on who?
The vote has passed. 3-0.
I didn't actually know. Is he gonna be the abstains? The abstain. Ushtan.
Uh,
I didn't know it's pronounced like that.
Who was that even for?
I believe that's Wilberforce.
Oh yeah. So Wilberforce has been duly elected.
Oh,
by
let's
11.
just wait for this to be confirmed.
A motion to revote for Montanishta.
Okay.
So we have some.
Oh
cracks
no, they
forming
need to vote on all
here.
nominations.
Oh, well.
I think Labour accidentally voted for Wilberforce
Oh.
when they wanted to vote for the
There,
other guy
there.
that they were
They're
nominating.
used to following the Social Democrats blindly, I fear.
There were no irregularities.
No revote. Did you see before the session started Sunday that Eamon put on the Cian Corla robes?
No, I didn't.
And he was told to take them off?
Presidential.
The question is that Deputy Michael S. Collins be elected as Cian Corla. Tá or Neil?
Quite a
Got a
few
tá
nil
from
from.
the Labour TDs and Antonish the most notably. Tá
Last
from
time we had a Michael Collins in government, it didn't really go well for us. So.
tá from Green Party CG.
God.
Unicorn Cookie Nam.
Again, abstains from the Green
Aaron.
Party.
The CC isn't a member of the government, so your analogy there doesn't work.
Well, it seems as though both nominees are.
He is a member of the government currently.
Well, the governing parties, anyway. I'm not sure.
Well,
about the ministerial portfolio.
I ran into this issue before, and apparently only a minister is a member of government.
They're
I
members
don't
of
think
the
he's a
governing
minister.
party. They're members of the governing party. Come on.
Irrelevant.
Yes,
Hold on, I want to
No,
quickly.
you're so right.
Very relevant.
I remember
that
I remember this exact argument that you're talking about. Yeah.
We have 2 ministers not in attendance today. One from Labour, one from the Social Democrats.
And we have one TD who is clearly not paying attention and has failed to vote on both.
Hello, Fianna Fáil, are you there? Are you awake? Can
Well,
you
not
hear
Fianna
me?
Fáil, but the Social Democrat. Brian did vote last time, but clearly he has not.
I've had-
the power
I
to
think
vote
he's
this time.
abstaining.
I've had
Oh,
another
I see.
audience member write in commenting, how do you fuck that up that badly? LOL. So people obviously not happy with Labour's performance tonight.
Yeah, it's not.
That's
Again,
very
I-
true.
I'm not sure if this would affect their votes in an election, but I think an election is on everyone's minds. Like, we need to reiterate, this is the final dual question session of the 30th Oireachtas. Tomorrow will be the final session, and then campaigning, the election process, it will all begin. So we will be. This is the election period. We are going to see these final decisions made by the government beat on the vital ones
Yeah.
to see whether these
And
are
I
parties
feel-
people we vote for.
I feel like a fuck up at this important moment was really not smart, and I think if that's happening now, what are we to expect from the campaigning period, and what are we to expect if they get back into government?
Reminder, not past the watershed
There's
yet.
no watershed legislation. It is a courtesy, and I will try not to swear, but
I have had a Labour TD just from the audience there say that the performance today was lacking from his party, but apparently they'll fix it.
Leave
So,
Clark, the children of the company, you better not curse.
see, the...
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that the Labour Party should introduce a motion of no confidence in Wilberforce and do this whole thing again. I think that would be pretty smart.
Yeah, if they fucked up, if they screwed up, then they need to redo it.
I think
They obviously have no
They're
confidence in
clapping
them
the
if they
Dáil,
wanted
that's against
to.
the standing orders. Let's get the Ceann Comhairle to ring the bell, please.
I'm
No
interested
clapping.
to see how Oisín will do. Okay, I'm so sorry about pronunciation, but I think he's been leader of the opposition quite a few times.
Maybe
Quite-
Labour should just leave the government.
We have Will before taking his oath.
Again, we cited this at the start where it was Leah who was coming up. But yes, it's a very important oath to Ireland as a whole, really. And I think it's really important now, considering the disarray and the disrepair lots of people would argue the Dáil has fallen into. So, more than ever, this oath is vitally important, considering impartiality, keeping order in the chamber. The importance of this was stressed, of this oath was stressed at the start of the term, and is still being stressed at the end of the term. And I'm pretty sure it's written in the Constitution. I'm not sure. It's either written in the Constitution or the standing orders. But
Standing orders.
yeah, standing. Oh, I must be thinking of when a president in the United States gets elected. Never mind. But Wilberforce will now be reading. He has been duly elected as the Ceann Comhairle for the final 2 sessions of the 30th Oireachtas. Just
This
waiting.
will really be his time to show people why they should vote for him in a full term.
Yeah, because
So,
this could be whether he makes or breaks becoming Ceann Comhairle, because there is, like, obviously there's 2 very important elections regarding the Dáil. Obviously, you know, the elections that vote on the government as a whole, but then the Ceann Comhairle again is very important to stress how important their job is, because they do keep that order and that respect in the Dáil that a lot of people of the public will think is vital. You see approval ratings drop and grow when we have different Ceann Comhairles. I would say it's been quite high recently with Leah, but it has fallen again. The standards have fallen. I don't know whether they did better than Eamon. I think Eamon's done quite well, but again, a lot of people would say that he hasn't. I mean, notably, people like Checkmail have constantly criticised him for even for even being a clerk.
Well, while you were saying that, I got another comment from this anonymous audience member saying, "It's a depressing reality that Wilberforce was elected by complete accident and hints at something troubling. Perhaps members should refer to him as His Accidency."
I mean, I do think does Wilberforce watch the? I think Wilberforce does watch these streams. It's quite nice to have a Ceann Comhairle who.
The oath is being taken.
Oh. Can't you talk about the execution of the office of the Ceann Comhairle? But yeah, I'll real quickly mention it's very nice to have people who tune into the stream, like Eamon. He did tune into the stream, and I think Leah, she did as well when she could. It's good to have. I'd say it's good to, like, keeps you aware of what's happening in the chamber, especially from other people's point of view. We have a few statements coming from parties here. First, we have a statement from the Labour Party, the Tanister. We respect the Social Democrats' decision, but this doesn't mean we're divided. Labour backed our own strong candidate, and while the vote didn't go our way, we remain united in the government and focused on delivering for the public. So maybe it shows divide within the Dáil whatever, but it doesn't show it
Whatever.
in the government. Sorry, I'm trying.
Okay, it's fine. But they say it doesn't show a divide in the government, but the fact that they have 2 candidates, both from the different parties within the coalition, shows that there is a divide in the government because they are not united on this matter.
That is very true.
Hold on, this is a really long. Yeah, that should work. Oh yeah, and a statement from the leader of the opposition, Brian O'Kearney, says The door must come to order. Sorry, in all caps, The door must come to order, and Labour must stop playing bad politics, or punishments will be severe at the ballot
Why
box.
are you
Big
screaming,
storm ahead,
Daniel?
because he's written it all in caps. Huge
Oh.
disunity. House of Cards has been blown over by the strong and dominant hands of Brian O'Kearney. Again, statement from Brian O'Kearney there. And Wilberforce has finished his statement, not statement, the oath is now duly presiding over the chamber as Kian caller. Oh.
Could you zoom in on what the CC was saying, Dan?
What was he saying?
Oh, we just need
Oh.
Jeremy and his cameras.
We'll never know.
I thought I looked at it as just all tags, but I think it's just calling up the leader of the opposition. I don't know why I struggle saying it so much. Okay, he's stuck in capitals apparently. He says, today we saw bad things and very dangerous things on the benches opposite. Sometimes we call them the uni party. And something to comment on there, we have had quite a lot of, yeah, we've had quite a lot of, I'd say, general support from Antonio for the Social Democrats. Again, you can see this on our other streams. There's been a lot of support for it, for his party, for the opposite party, that may actually be the strongest contender in this election. This could be another Social Democrats against the Labour Party, but personally I would have said it makes more sense if they ran a joint ballot, but I don't know. Again, I think Fine Gael, in their recent performance, I don't think they're going to be as hit or miss. I think they will stay on the same seats, if not lose some. But I think early in the term, I would have definitely said they could have gained, they could have lost. But now, it's still unclear. But I think we're leaning towards the Fine Gael party not succeeding in this election as much as they want to. We could be seeing Green Party gains as they try and take on a more serious appeal. Fianna Fáil, again, new leader. The last time they've had 3 different leaders, I believe. Jack Cosgrave into Erin and now into Checkmail every day. And he does lead very different from Jack Cosgrave. Jack Cosgrave was very inactive during his time for personal reasons, I believe. But we could be seeing a very strong campaign from Fianna Fáil here, especially from a previous member of the Dáil, such who served under True Donald, such as Checkmail. Oh, and the leader of the opposition has been warned, so kicked from the game because of a warning from Roblox for spamming. And I don't know why this TD has sent this to me, but a anonymous comment from a TD has said, "I hate the Social Democrats, government TD."
Brian O'Kearney.
Was it actually a government TD?
Yes, yeah, I can confirm they're literally sitting on the bench right now.
Well, there's only
Oh.
3 Labour TDs up there,
That's
so
nice.
who do we bet? What's the bets, guys?
Oh. We'll do that in the RTÉ group chat later.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll tell all you guys. Just don't tell anyone else. Can we designate RT as an OSA group chat, Karma? I think you're watching it right now.
RTÉ is my OSA. Yeah.
Hold on. I think we've got Storm Mike Bryan coming up now. I mean, I apologise for everyone's ears, and the best of luck to all of you. Hello, Brian. Are
No.
you with us?
I'm with you.
Oh, I wish you weren't.
Okay, that's wonderful. So what have you come up here specifically to talk about anything? Or are you just here to join in?
Look, we're seeing some horrible things right now. We're seeing, we're seeing some bad things, and we need to deal with it. I think everyone's seeing that Labour have grown what we like to call a backbone or a spine, and
leader of
I
the
think they're
opposition,
gonna
I will
come out
quickly
all right.
remind you, you are being called. Well, I assume a lot of these are going to be against the Labour Party, so it's wonderful that we have Antanisha, the leader of the Labour Party, to join us today. Hello, are you with us?
Yeah. Hello.
Okay, that's wonderful. So we'll wait for Brian to finish his question, then we'll move on to you. But, okay, I think a question you're going to be seeing pop up more and more this election. Are you really... What are your plans for this election? Because you've been constantly siding with the Social Democrats, and in fact, I would say, yeah, you have been siding a lot with the Social Democrats, and there's been the sense of again disunity within the government right now. Where are you going? Are you going to keep siding with the government, with the current government? Are you going to try and go for a coalition next term with the Social Democrats? Or are you looking to break away and look for other opportunities after the election?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't rule out a coalition with the Social Democrats next term if that's what it comes to. I mean, I would love to again, but Labour is its own party, its own entity. So, I mean, this thing that people think that we are basically the same party as the Social Democrats. I'm trying to distance ourselves away from that, and I don't know. Maybe this vote might have helped, but regardless of the outcome of that vote that will become CC, the government is still unified in its mission to deliver to the people.
Well, I would say a lot of people would argue that your party has been looking more and more increasingly more pro-Social Democrats, especially with some messages you gave, I believe, when Taoiseach announced his resignation from the Social Democrats. So, how can we trust that you are being your own independent party, especially after Labour TDs followed Social Democrats into a room I would assume they weren't whipped to be in?
No, none of the Labour TDs did. But I think this election will show people how we are going to distance ourselves away from the Social Democrat Labour same
Look,
party
you're
image.
falling apart. You're falling apart like a stack of cards in the wind. You're falling apart.
Didn't you
It's not
literally get
going well for you,
arrested?
so stop pretending. Because look, it's not going well for you at all.
Well, at least we don't have a leader that's been jailed, so.
Look, you talk about leaders. You're not much of a leader yourself, to be honest.
Well, I don't think a leader gets in prison for leaking OSA, a basic rule.
Look,
A
I
basic
didn't get
law.
in prison. We all know it was a deep
Well, no,
state sham. We all know.
let's
No, it
talk about
wasn't.
that, Brian. You were arrested for leaking OSA documents, or things regarding that.
OSA.
So, how can we trust that as Taoiseach or as Taoiseach, like any high-ranking position in the government,
Okay.
that we can actually trust that you won't be leaking vital information that is incredibly
You know,
important
that's
to the
quite a
state?
biased question from you. We all know it was the great deep state sham and it was a corrupt case from the beginning, you know.
But you
People that
released OSA
were running the
documents.
case were very bad at their jobs. I never released any
Okay, so
document.
how are
There's
we
no
going to have
proof
you
of
as
it.
Taoiseach denying the rule of law and denying that the courts are a deep state prophecy, which is not true?
You know, look, your government's falling apart. I think you have bigger
Our
problems to deal
government
with
isn't
right now.
falling apart. I
You know,
think I
it's
see two
falling
full
apart. It's
branches of
falling apart. It's
government
Right,
falling
leaders
I
apart.
would
right
like
now.
I would
I'm
like to
watching it
hear.
live. It's like Caesar being stabbed by Pompey. You know, it's not going well for you at all.
What did he just say?
Okay,
You know, I'm
leader of the
watching it in
Labour
real time.
Party. Could we hear what your response to that?
You know, nobody wants
Well,
to hear from him. They've heard
No,
from this
I want
party
to
for
hear
far
from him.
too
I
long.
want to hear from him.
Brian.
well, I think the government's very unified and we're not falling apart. I see two full rows of TDs here. Just because one vote made the government split into two different chambers doesn't mean that the government isn't still unified.
So,
Apart from the government TD DMing the Dan here saying that he hated the Social Democrats.
oh well.
I
We
would
have
love to
an
know who that
update on
was.
that. We have
I
an
would love to
update
know
on
who
that.
that was.
Please clarify that on stream. That was a joke.
Oh, a joke, I'm sure, I'm sure.
I don't know who that was, to be honest. It could have been a non-Social Democrat TD, you never know.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
No, seriously.
Yeah, it could have been.
Sure.
It genuinely could have been. It could they are a government TD. I can in fact check that. I can confirm it. I've got their name on the spreadsheet. But I mean, anyway, moving back again, leader of the opposition. You keep getting called. I won't be bringing you up right now, Mr. McPhee, because you already have a Labour candidate up here, and I'd rather the Labour leader. But I would actually that raises a question for the debate that will be happening and being hosted by Mr. Sunday, our new moderator
Oh.
for debates, especially with election night.
What-
Who will be going up from the Labour Party? Will it be
What was that,
you
Oisin?
or?
What was that little comment?
I actually have not even been like told about the debate, but it will be me, yeah.
Don't worry, you will be informed closer to the day. I would probably send out
Mhm.
all the invites to the servers required after the duel dissolves tomorrow. But yes, so it would be nice to see other people come up. I mean, again, it is completely up to you. Will we also be seeing you on your election night then?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will quickly say we can only have one candidate from each area. We wouldn't want multiple people on the
Mhm.
same. I believe the leader of the opposition is currently asking about the military, saying that he cites that the soldiers have been running around in immunity. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Mutiny, did you say?
No, he said immunity, so I didn't. I think he meant mutiny.
He probably meant mutiny.
Yeah, I got really confused then.
Yeah, he's not really Taoiseach material.
And Taoiseach is
Well,
denying the question, saying there's no question and
Again,
no
you shouldn't be
integrity
wrong
either.
about much, but you know, obviously the CC denies it. He's corrupt. He's crooked. You know, we all knew this.
No, the CC didn't deny it. The Taoiseach denied it.
The Taoiseach actually denied it. Like,
Oh,
how are you going
he's
to
just
how
as
are you going
crooked. They're the
to
same thing, to be honest.
how are you going to be leader of the
I
opposition if
Why
you
are they
can't
the
tell
same
difference?
thing?
What? Who? Can you speak up?
So,
Because they're all part of the Uni Party, and we all know it.
and why do you think? Who is this Unity Party?
You know, the deep state.
And who
People who
exactly
block
are these deep
the
state?
Man, that's the
people
question
who
you can
block
answer.
are going the person to Donald from running for president. You know, those type of people, those corrupt people.
Who stopped True Donald from running for president?
You know who. You know, you're trying to act dumb, but we all know you know who.
No, I would like to know. I don't. I
Answer the
want
question,
confirmation.
man.
No, you know who.
Exactly,
You know, I
because the
can't
deep
stay
state,
without put me in
the deep
jail, like,
state
and I don't want to go back to jail, to be honest.
Okay. Right.
You know,
Brian, you have a question.
I've had a scathing attack coming in from a listener on the Green Party. They said DEI hire Bo and whatever homeless person she's sitting next to
Oh.
really don't provide any purpose in the Dáil. They shouldn't come back.
She's
That
butchered
is-
Angela
yeah,
Rayner, to be
I
honest.
agree with that.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are very critical against the Green Party, rightfully so. I think that they have done some questionable.
Is that an RTE opinion?
No, well, yeah, it is an RTE opinion, but they've done questionable things in my eyes. But I do think they are trying to cement this image where they can be that serious party, because I think they've realised if they keep running amok,
won't.
they're not going to win the next election. And with Bo announcing this very may well be her last election running.
Well, I don't think the Greens are going to get any further as an established serious party if Bo is their leader for much longer.
I think if Fine Gael does drop seats, I think the Green Party could gain some.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I do
You know,
think.
look, none of them are going to win seats. None of them are winning seats. Let's stop having this conversation.
Okay,
because
well,
it's
what are
like
your
taking
predictions
fentanyl.
then? What are your predictions then, Brian?
An FF supermajority. It's going to be beautiful. They're going to say stop
Yeah,
winning. Now, actually, they're
that's
going to
not gonna
call and say
happen.
we can't keep this much winning.
Why
up.
is it going to happen? Why
we
should
aren't
we
gonna
vote for
vote
you to be a
Who just
supermajority?
mic'd up? Who just mic'd up? You should stop micing up because you're not very smart at all.
Maybe you should.
Well, I was smart enough not to get arrested.
You know,
So.
Niam. Let's not get it started again.
Brian, I do.
What, you saying my name wrong because you're dyslexic and have a speech impediment, or
Right, well, let's move away from the personal insults. Why should we vote for your party to have a supermajority? What are their plans that are so good that we should install such a powerful government?
You know, look at what Mr. Sunday did. He really changed this country with, he had to go on a coalition. We really changed his country for the better, and we saw we saw unemployment now, and we had a booming economy. We had so much money that we had to set up a committee to decide how to spend it, and then
So what was the
this
booming
current
economy you
government
talk about?
signed up to.
I don't see that booming economy.
We had beautiful towers.
So could you
and everyone.
define
We were
a
making
booming
so much
economy under
money.
Fianna Fáil?
Daniel, could
we
you
had
stop
so many
attacking
people
my
who
booming
were-
economy, please?
No,
Yeah, Daniel,
I
you're
totally
quiet,
believe him. I just want to know what exactly he means by a booming economy.
I'll ask Brian an unbiased question, okay? Because you can't be trusted with this. I want to ask Brian how he can be so brave in standing up to the corrupt people in the Oireachtas right now.
Okay, I think that's a very personal opinion. I don't think either
Because
of the guests on
Naya,
stage are
Oh,
offering
he's
anything
been kicked down.
constructive,
Oh no,
so-
right. I've
No, I don't think having Sunday ask when he I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You can have your own opinion. Sunday doesn't like the deep state because Donald doesn't like the deep state, and that's the constant squabble. I don't think having Sunday
Well,
ask
I don't. My
about-
opinions
well,
aren't
right. Let's
Donald's
move away from this.
opinions.
Let's actually get.
they're very much.
I would like to
similar, I think.
quickly see how this other.
Because we're always
Sorry,
both so right.
I would like to see how
Watch
this
out,
other
there's a
Labour
bad
TD
boy.
does. Oisin, could we bring up your other Labour TD, Mr. McPhee? Just DM me or just anywhere. I will bring Brian back up, but unless we find a replacement for him. Sorry, we quickly have a statement for the Green Party. I'm not sure if they want to remain anonymous. I will say they're a social democrat. They've said the Green Party can either turn to Rome or their entire political career is over. If you couldn't tell who that is, they've said I can say the name. Jay Murta.
Turn to Rome.
Yeah, I think he just means turn Catholic.
Why? Well, Bo is a Catholic, but is he saying that because? Why?
Well, I'm
'Cause-
going to quickly. I'm not
Was it the
sure.
stance on inclusivity or what?
I'm just going to quickly bring up
Um,
this Labour TD. Hello.
Morning. So I know we've moved a bit past about that topic, but I wanted to come with my own more independent comments on the topic of Labour aligning with the Social Democrats. I think that when Labour should give credit to the Social Democrats when they do good, and I feel like the Social Democrats have done very good this administration, but that Labour also should highlight when the administration doesn't do good,
There's a bad boy.
which also has happened. Sorry?
No, nothing. Sorry. I thought
Okay.
it was muted.
So I think it's important to have a balance. We are in a coalition and we should stand united. That is true, but we should also highlight when the Social Democrats do something that might not be the most beneficial for the nation. And I feel like Labour aligning with the Social Democrats is not because Labour's trying to get closer to them and is trying to gain more power in the coalition or something like that, but rather that Labour is
does
trying
this
to
guy
keep
even know what he's on
more
about?
Brian,
coalition
I would like
more
to hear his
united.
words quickly. Continue.
So yeah, that's my personal view on that topic, and that's about everything I wanted to comment on.
Well, would you be fine to stay up for a debate? I assumed you were here for that.
Sorry?
Are
you
you
repeat
right
that,
to stay up here for a debate? I assumed you were up here for that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Right, Brian.
Are we going to turn this into a debate?
'Cause we always have these.
Okay.
Why did you say my name?
You seemed to have something to say earlier against the Labour Party. What was it?
What Labour Party? What one?
Sorry, as you refer to the Unity Party.
Oh, you like they're all part of the deep state. We all know they're all under the arm of Lewis Doherty.
No,
and
but
whatever
you
his
were
name
going
is,
to
you
comment
know.
on something Mr.
You called him
McPhee
the
said.
American Mafia because Lewis is American, and I can't think of a better name right now.
Which you called Lewis the American Mafia? So
I would say he's the
what's so important about the
what
deep
did he call the
state?
mafia boss?
Why do you keep bringing up the
Well,
deep state?
you know, why do you keep bringing up the deep state? You're bringing it up as much as me, you know, you're a puppet. Why are you coming up, you know? You don't really know what you're talking
But
about, you know, you're just
that
here
wasn't
to
the
get paid.
question. That wasn't this
You know,
question
you're
wasn't about
taking the
me.
lines, you know, you're like the North Korean presenters. You're just reading the same lines. It's not very good of you.
Okay, but why do you keep
Brian,
bringing up
I think
Why do you keep bringing up the deep state? I feel like you're just bringing it up to
You know,
compensate
nobody
for your
brought that up
failures.
until you brought it up. You know, nobody brought it up till you brought it up. So I think you should take a deep breath and you know, step back.
Okay, well, let's
I
hopefully
have a
move to
question
some
for
more
Brian,
productive.
actually.
Go ahead.
Are you all right? Like, are you doing okay? I understand prison can be very tough mentally, so just are you doing all right?
You know, I did fine. I was very good in prison. It was very
Oh,
lovely.
I bet you were.
A
Sorry.
nice break from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, I'm sure.
Well, let's move this back over to what's currently happening in the door. So, I would like to ask specifically again to Brian, why should we vote for your government? Because I feel like you gave very vague answers. Can you give us more specifics, maybe?
Just look at what we did under Mr. Sunday. He was the greatest heritage behind True Donald. So just look at that. Look at our achievements. Just look at them. They speak for
So,
themselves.
how are you
to be
going
honest.
to build upon those achievements? Is what I want to know. I'd say, and personally, I've heard from Jeremy, who said that the constant repealing of legislation, which I would say both the Social Democrats and Fianna Fáil were guilty of, but this was one of the things Fianna Fáil did. They kept repealing legislation.
Not guilty.
The lie
Proud.
detector is
Rather
Not
going
guilty.
proud
quite
of
mad.
then, I guess. But they kept repealing legislation. Do you think you're also going to keep repealing legislation? Will you have replacements? Can you tell us more?
You know, we need to stop the over legislation. We need a small government, and we need, you know, to put Ireland first. We need to get into the golden age, and to do that, we need to scrap the DII legislation, as we like to call it. You know, the
DII.
What is the
legislation.
DEI
Go for common
legislation?
sense approach.
What's the second, Brian? What's the second I in DII?
Sorry, what was that, Niam? Can you repeat
You,
yourself,
you
Niam?
said you
I
said
didn't hear
DI.
you very well.
You said DII.
Look,
What does
Niam,
it stand for?
Niam, you were DII high or whatever it is. You know, I don't care what it is, but you were one of them.
I don't have a disability.
Well, that's a topic of debate, to be honest.
Right.
Is it?
Interesting.
Those
Moving
those in glass
onwards.
houses. Those in those on glass wheelchairs, Brian.
Hold on, are we on government? Are we on? Okay, we are Minister's questions. Sorry.
Good question. Would I be wrong in saying that Fianna Fáil are reheating their nachos of the previous glories of previous leaders?
So, well, I would like to quickly add on to that. I
You
would
know,
say
you can't
we've
be here
seen
now.
we saw declines after
Well,
Donald had his
I wouldn't
election.
say they'd be doing that, Aaron, because you're one of the previous leaders, and there's nothing to point out in that.
Well, I want to
No,
quickly
like,
say we
Monday.
saw the Fianna.
3 days tenure
Sunday,
wasn't
Sunday,
exactly anything to write home about.
Sunday, can we just point out the only thing that hasn't changed about Fianna Fáil through this decline is you as the chairman.
I wasn't the chairman when I was the Uachtaráin, so
When you were the Taoiseach, you weren't, but the decline started after that.
Well, I want to
And
quickly
the only
quickly highlight.
thing that hasn't changed is you as chairman.
We saw like after
Okay.
the first term of True Donald, he did very well in that election. Then I believe in the next election he still did well, but he didn't do as well as the previous election. And then we saw by the third election, Fianna Fáil was no longer the largest party. But and then after Mr. Sunday did become Taoiseach, and then that government was dissolved, we then had an even smaller Fianna Fáil party, which leads to today, where we only have a 3-seat dual Fianna Fáil party, where they don't even try and turn up. Why should we vote for you? Why should we vote for that party? Especially when we've seen this trend of a steady decline over time. What makes this a now improving party? Brian?
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Well, I think it's a very stupid question from you. It's a very biased question, and I wouldn't expect anything less from these
You don't
social
have to. You don't
democrats
have to
and
answer it.
failures. What have you achieved? You've achieved nothing, in government. You've done nothing, what have you done? What have you got to show
Attorney,
for it?
Okay,
with
Brian.
all due respect,
Well,
your
this
party
isn't
doesn't even show up.
Mr. McPhee. This isn't about me.
Why is Sleepy Joe piping up? Why is Sleepy Joe piping up? He rambles on for ages and nobody knows what he's on about, I'm sort of just sitting here like I've missed a point 20 minutes ago. You need to actually like make a coherent point before you get into politics.
The most active party that isn't in government are the
You don't
Greens,
know
and
what
they
the
have
most
less
active
seats than you.
party is, to be honest.
Excuse
You
me,
don't know what the
your
most active
party
party is.
doesn't
No,
show
you
up.
don't
You're
know what the
the
most active
you
party
the
is, to be honest.
Sorry, I want to hear
and
what the
yet you
Labour representative has to say. Mr. McPhee, go ahead.
Yeah. Currently, with all due respect, you're talking about that the government bench is not stable, not united, and whatnot. When your party and the rest of the opposition largely doesn't show up, even though you're elected, and it's expected from elected officials to actually be there and represent their. I know.
Brian, if I may go slightly off topic. Brian, if I may, are you fully English? Like,
What?
I feel like I'm speaking clearly.
yeah, you are
Well,
speaking very clearly as a Norwegian person. Extremely clearly. But Brian, is English your second language? I'm not trying to
Well,
insult
what do
you
you
here.
mean it's
I'm genuinely asking a question. Is English your second language?
Niam, you're going a bit off.
I know,
You're going a
Brian,
bit
you were
crazy,
going off
Niam.
topic
I
earlier by asking my
yeah.
achievements in government. Why
You're a
can't
bit,
we go off
Niam's a bit
topic?
crazy.
You've got
Niam is trying
you're
to make
criticizing a
a,
Norwegian speaking fluent, full
no,
structured English when you, an English man,
okay,
cannot
that's
speak
okay. Good
English
for
well.
him.
Are you English?
Niam, you're
I
sort
mean,
of a
to me,
deep
it
state
sounds
puppet,
like
Niam. So you're just making the same.
to
Nobody
me,
cares what you think, Sleepy Joe.
You're the
Go
only
back to your
person
padded
that keeps
cell.
repeating the
We're
same
talking. The
thing. You
adults are
said
talking
Sleepy
here.
Joe 7 times, and this is it. This
Niam,
is
nobody knows
this.
what you're on about. Nobody cares what you're on about either, to be
I
Kearney,
think
honest.
you're the only one that can't be understood because of your accent. That's what I'm trying to
Kearney,
ask.
with all
Nobody
due respect,
understands you either.
to me,
Sleepy
this sounds like
Joe.
a cheap
Nobody wants
escape
to
to
hear.
try to avoid fair criticism to your statements.
Nobody
Because
knows what you're on
your
about,
only
Sleepy
your
Joe.
only
You're
answer
crazy.
are
You're
clear
delusional.
disrespectful
Go back to
comments
the padded
about
cell. Because
accents
you're rambling on
or
for
something
hours.
like that.
Sorry, Brian,
Which
I'm
is,
okay for
by
you
the way,
to speak
firstly,
over people if you actually have something of value to add on to it. Thanks.
okay, I'm gonna just restart my last statement there. I think you just insulting criticism is a cheap escape to actually face it. First off, your party doesn't show up, which right now isn't the main problem. Second off, you
Labour would know all
act
about
like you don't understand.
to be honest.
I did not understand that accent dialect there. Could you repeat that, please?
You heard me very well. Maybe Sleepy Joe
I
should get
did
his
actually.
thing
I
out
did.
because I'm quite, in the padded
That's
cell, you
that's
should have
eighth
a bit.
time.
Okay,
What's
well,
it called?
Brian,
There
I
we go.
actually have a question for you regarding attendance, especially. Finnaful has had an absolutely lackluster attendance this entire duel. First, we saw barely anyone before checkmail. Again, there was very low attendance, and then even after checkmail, we've had 2 ejections from you. 1 unauthorized absence. One of your members has had 4 unauthorized absences. JJ has been ejected and has filed 2 authorized absences. Going over to the Shanard, we've had checkmail. This is actually the chamber the Finnaful has actually doubled down on, controversially. But checkmail, the leader of Finnaful, has had a very flamboyant attendance. It's not flamboyant, I would say more. It's not as consistent as you'd expect for a party leader. He's been ejected, then authorised absence than attended authorised absence. And in the past 3 times he has unauthorised absences, which leaves him on 2 strikes. And if he doesn't attend tomorrow's session, there will be another strike. Why are we going to vote? Oh yeah, that's also not mentioned that Mully, the other Shanador, has yet to attend a single session of the Shanad. Why can we trust your party to be active? Is the short question there. Oh, is he asking? No, he's quite. Brian? Do you have an answer for us? Okay, this is getting embarrassing. Let's move on.
Is he fit to be the leader of the opposition?
We haven't done much commentation on the RTÉ Oireachtas, so
Yeah, let's move. I thank you both for coming up here today. I don't think there's much else to add on, especially as we get closer to the end of the stream. But now talking about the, I think about the PFG, just some of the finishing touches.
now we've got some more personal attacks from the government bench. Something about she's a no life that spends 24 hours on Roblox or something like that.
Was that against Butt?
Which I believe so. I don't, because there's no one else in the door that they would be saying it to. Which I think, when they're the ones that will often speak about toxicity and question dodging, I feel like it's very hypocritical when often we've seen in this term that they failed
like
to
it's
answer
really
the questions
disproportionate.
each time and they've just bounced it back. Like Oscar used to say to me, you're question dodging, but most questions I've seen Oscar answer, he's not in fact answered them. I believe once he even said, that's not a question, so, and then just sat back down or something along those lines. And I'm not going to quote it directly because I don't know, but I believe something along those lines was said. And I feel like it's quite.
If I could quickly remark on when he doesn't answer questions, I believe he refuses to ask questions when they don't add a question to it, so they just make a statement without an actual question to it. I think that's when he
But I
refuses
feel
to.
like the title of the session being question time, it is implied that it is in fact a question that requires an answer.
But usually they do want an actual question, but I do see where you're coming from. We now have the Minister Scripted Sid, who is, again, Minister for Business, Enterprise and Innovation.
We've got him thanking the Cian Corla for all the work he does in his first session.
I thought that was directed at Bo, and if it was, it's not allowed to do that.
Surely the deputy should be asking hard-hitting questions of national importance.
I have to say I didn't see the question, but I think he was dodging that. Again,
Average. Okay, they're now referring to Bo as GB when I'm not going to say because I don't know for sure, but I feel like this GB Irish thing, it's quite old and it's tired. And clearly Bo is no longer in Sovs. Whether it was her own choice or Avonk, it's not relevant.
I mean, I want
But
to quickly
she has
say
grown, she is dedicated to Ireland, and I feel like it's kind of tired. Like keep constantly referring to people as British when I know Jackie Westbrook is English. I know a few people on that government bench are in fact English, and I think it's building up this divide once again, which we have seen the government doing quite consistently, which is trying to divide people. And they're the ones that will go on about toxicity and bipartisanship and the lack thereof from the opposition. Yet they are the ones trying to build up these barricades.
I just want to quickly mention.
I have had people mention to me earlier before, someone said that the entire SD bench was just sad Sov rejects and they had to come here.
I mean,
I've also had a anonymous comment just come in just then saying, dedication to Ireland means I failed in my Sov UK parliamentary career, so I'm going to retire to the mediocre copy ran by Lewis Doherty.
Well,
And,
I
you
want
know,
to quickly. I just want to quickly say, Neve is a green Shenador. Yeah, I'm just trying to point out there is also bias over there.
I want to say that Daniel here
yes,
is
I am
a Social Democrat
I'm trying to
Shenador.
make sure everyone knows. But I want to I mean,
I think you're trying to devalue the comments I've made.
no, I'm not
about
trying to
your
devalue your
party-
comments. I
your
think they
party
are true. I
saying,
think I want to
because
quickly
this has
say
been mentioned before.
the Green Party has also mentioned about, the Green Party has also spoken about most of the people from the Social Democrats also being
I know
the
they
Pirate
have,
Party. So
but they are not the government who is expected to answer. They are not holding the opposition to account because the opposition isn't governing the country single-handedly.
I think I will argue if you're going to make the points of hypocrisy, I think it's also important to mention that Bo has also spoke about the Sovs and everything.
I'm well aware, and I'm not fighting Bo's corner.
I
I'm
think
saying
all
there is-
sides need to stop bringing up Sovs. I think it's okay to be in other nations and be good at them, because it's nice to have politicians from anywhere who will actually be active.
got Oscar, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Gibraltar. We've got a few former Sovs MPs on that bench, and I'm sure everyone has served in another nation. And well, I hope they have.
Sorry,
political
you've all just missed an absolute
Yeah,
gem
there
from the
is-
Count Corlal.
Yeah.
If please withdraw, deputy, if you're ginger and you know it.
Well, we have had a motion to adjourn from the antenna store, which actually did receive a second. Now, these sessions can go to 9:15 p.m, but they do like adjourning at 9 p.m. But I think they will be.
And now they're going to be hosting a public question time. I wonder if
With the
questions will be
questions-
answered there.
With the questions already decided.
Yeah, that was mentioned on the stream earlier. Well, at least in the little subtitle thing there. Yes, there will be questions to Anti-Shock right after this. I don't think there's much for me to record there, so I won't be recording it. But I'll be happy to see what the news says if we have any RTE people going there. We're waiting for the motion to be voted on, but point of order has been raised.
So the Social Democrats are trying to adjourn the Dáil because there is a press conference planned, which I think we can all make the assumption that will be a photo opportunity for Oscar O'Sullivan.
Well,
I would
I think
say
it's
the Dáil
important
is
to
more
take those
important.
photos to know they're actually at the event.
Well, I think announcing the event and inviting people is enough. But if you want to take photos, then that's your choice. But if you're going to, cut off the Dáil so you can take photos, is that really, where the priority should be? Because your primary role as a TD is to attend and, serve the people in the Dáil. And I don't think, answering questions that you could be answering in this chamber outside on a lectern outside of TIHA on Rialtas is more important than that, if you understand where I'm coming from.
I mean, I don't think I'm allowed to say much on that, but I think I don't know, having that publicity I think is quite important for Antisha, especially if you're looking for re-election. Either way, but he isn't looking for re-election, but taking those pictures I think it's also good just for the party in general. Oscar's been allowed to leave.
But the question is also, is this a privilege that would be given to everyone in the Dáil? If
Vape throat.
They are usually allowed to leave if they want to, if as long as they put it in. They're now trying to get the question asked to adjourn, but nothing is really happening off it.
How do you know what vape throat is, Sunday?
Because you always talk like that.
Oh. Sunday has a secret.
He has like it's okay. We're past watershed. He has a pineapple ice tucked under his pillow.
A what?
Don't act fucking stupid, Sunday.
I don't know what that is.
You know, he looks like.
Yeah, he sent me a picture and I saw it. Trust me.
What? Can we be informed?
Sunday likes
What?
to vape a lot, and he
I do
spends a
not.
lot.
Oh, he's not. It's not a bad thing for Sunday, but
No
it is.
vaping,
It is
no
periodic.
smoking.
He periodically vapes. Yeah.
And he sends us a picture at the end of every week of all the empty vape cartridges.
Yeah. He has a disposable drawer of just his dead ones.
And it's stacked. It's really stacked.
Kind of that.
Oh, hold on. I just want to say we are now asking whether the duel will now adjourn.
Fuck. Anyways, song of the week, Aaron. What's your song of the week?
My song of the week, I'm gonna go with "I'm Every Woman" by Chaka Khan.
And Sunday, what's your song of the week?
I don't know.
Let me check my Spotify profile and see what they're telling me.
Sorry, would you take a song,
My song of the
please?
week is "What Was That" by Lord.
How do you see that?
You go
Okay.
on profile and then just scroll down, and then it's top tracks this month,
Oh.
which is the month, but
Love and Marriage by Frank Sinatra.
So they're now voting on the adjournment.
Stop it. Anyway, stop it. Quickly. That's all. Okay.
I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm so fine.
Oh, my top songs suck.
Oh, that's top of the month.
Yeah, I'm looking
Come
at
on,
the,
Daniel, please.
I'm looking at
What
the
are your
top of the month.
songs?
Okay, the top one, Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King, and then underneath it, underneath it, Champagne Supernova by Oasis. Oh, I love that.
That's not any better. That's absolutely
I have,
horrible.
I have
Even the
on mine.
Supreme Court's laughing at you.
I will say Dirty Old Ones by the Pogues was my top song of this month.
My four are "What Was That" by Lord, "The Sun" by Brittany Broski, "Ribs" by Lord, and "Wild at Heart" by Lana Del Rey, and I stand by that.
Oh, my third and fourth are just more Lion King, so.
Why do you listen to so much Lion King? It's a shit
I don't
movie.
know. I don't know how it's gotten like this. I mean, I like the other ones. Fifth one, Wrecking Ball. I recommend everyone listens to this song. It's a very good song by Mother Mother. I love it. I don't know if everyone would like it, but it's a very good song. It should be known more.
Daniel.
Yeah. Oh, hi. Oh, I'm being told off. Hi.
Who the fuck were you making love to with that song choice?
Lion King. Why didn't you should have been reaching to turn that shit off?
Can you feel the love tonight? That is
Oh,
the love.
Right. I need to explain. There is no explaining it. I've just been listening to it. But no, there are other good songs on here. Like there's I'm not sure if anyone would. I think people, if you have a dad, you'll know this song. You would have heard it at least. It's
You
called,
have a dad.
yeah, it's called.
Do you have a dad?
Yes, I
You
do
don't yet?
actually.
Oh,
I've heard
you
this
have
song
to.
quite a lot. Sex on Fire, a
to,
very good song. I love it.
Oh.
Enter
Moving
Sandman,
on.
but I think we all know that one.
Kamla, what's your top song?
Yeah, let's hear yours.
Oh, hold on. I'm getting a cold.
I hear her screaming. What election? Oh, the presidential election results are out. Killian Clark has
Sorry.
been named president-elect uncontested, and he will be inaugurated on the 24th of May. There will be no presidential election night. Once again, Killian Clark has been elected uncontested. He will be inaugurated for his second and final term on the 24th of May. This has just come in from the Electoral Commission just now.
So is this
once
just
again-
me, or is this like completely out of nowhere?
No.
Oh, I
It
wasn't
was
expecting it. Well, so I'm not sure if anyone's really surprised. He's the only candidate. Okay, well, Killian's our new president-elect for this period, but he will become, like
He's
you
not
said.
president-elect until the day of his. Well, no, he will just. Yeah, he
He's-
won't be president-elect until the day his term expires, and he'll be inaugurated the next day.
Yeah, so he is.
I don't know
that
what
will
just happened, but my phone. Regardless, you guys have weird taste in music.
What's your song?
Ignore my monthly music. It always gets really distorted. You just have to read between the lines.
Yeah, but Dan, why are you listening to the soundtrack from The Lion King?
I don't know. I watched the movies recently, and I was just like, wow. So I don't know. I just popped them on a playlist.
I mean,
and
my
they're
top
all at the start of the
song.
playlist.
Hold
So.
on. For this week, my number one song has been Lady Marmalade by Patti LaBelle and or should I say LaBelle, the group. After that, it's I'm not saying that out loud.
And you're calling our music taste weird. Goodness me.
So wait, what?
No.
How do you see your weekly?
It's not.
Why have we gone silent? Okay. I think we've lost Carla there.
Oh, that's not.
Oh,
not
what
good.
about top artists? What are our top artists this month?
Oh, I don't want to get into this now.
Mine is very, very, very generic. The Beatles,
Oh my
Queen,
God.
and ABBA. So.
Well, this is really embarrassing. ABBA,
It's
the
not you,
Cranberries,
Dan, because
and Crack Boy Mental.
So why would what was the second one? What was the second one you said?
The Cranberries.
So why do you have really two generic ones and then the third one? I say generic, but why is the third one so random?
He has a really good. I'm looking into socialism. I just have that on.
My top artists are Lord, Charlie XCX, Lana, Chapel Roan, Ariana Grande, Amy Winehouse. And then in seventh is Kneecap, then SZA, then Frank Ocean.
And if we're going for the full list, Green Day's 4th, Coldplay's 5, Radiohead's 6th, My Chemical Romance is 7th, Erin, please be proud of me. TV Girl 8, Mitski 9, Oasis 10, The Killers 11, and somehow Katy Perry's up here on 12th. I don't know how that happened. Okay, she's not
Loves
even
a bit of I Kissed a Girl.
she's not even in my playlist, I swear. Hold on, I need to check this now.
Do it, do it, do it, do it now. Look it good.
Anyway, it's gotten incredibly off topic for the duel. So I will be ending the stream here. Thank you all for
But there's a press conference.
Oh, there's a press conference, but I can't be bothered to record it. I need to eat dinner. I thank you all for watching today's.
We'll just commentate it.
You can still do it in the stage, but I thank you all for tuning in to watch today's Oireachtas session, the duel session, the final duel question time before the 30th of Oireachtas gets dissolved. So hopefully I will see you all tomorrow again for the final session of the duel of the 30th Oireachtas. So I hope
if they even have any legislation to propose.
Yeah. So good night to have a wonderful rest of your evening, and good night to all of you. And get a better music taste than me.